Unmarked black SUV, flashing blue light wedged in the dash, two men in knockoff uniforms with shiny badges that didn't catch the porch light right. They didn't knock. One stepped onto my driveway and clipped a paper to my Chevy's windshield like it was a legal seizure. By order of the HOA, he barked, "This vehicle is being impounded." Step aside. From behind him, Karen stood at the curb in her silk robe, arms crossed, a smug little smile tugging at her mouth. "Should have paid your fines," she said sweetly. "Maybe next time you'll respect the neighborhood rules." I stayed still, leaning against the porch rail, sipping my coffee. "This truck," I said evenly, "is registered federal property." The taller fake cop sneered. "We don't care who it's registered to. We've got authority here." He reached for the door handle. That's when I straightened up, set my mug down, and let my coat fall open just enough for the badge to catch the porch light. U.S. Marshal. Karen's smirk faltered. The two officers froze, eyes flicking from the badge to my face like they'd just realized they'd walked into a trap. "You brought fake cops to steal a federal vehicle," I said quietly, stepping down from the porch. "You picked the wrong driveway." The taller man's hand trembled on the door handle. This is a misunderstanding." "Not anymore," I cut him off. "You're both under arrest. Hands where I can see them." Karen took a step back, the color draining from her face as neighbors began peeking through curtains and phones started recording. Karen's smugness collapsed the moment I reached into my truck and flipped on the dash camera display. The red light had been blinking the entire time, catching every fake badge, every word, every move. I angled the screen so she and her hired goons could see themselves crystal clear on the playback. Her voice shook. "Why, you can't record us without permission." I gave a slow grin. "Oh, I can. Federal property. Surveillance is automatic." The taller fake cop cursed under his breath, realizing the blue light on their dash wasn't even flashing anymore, it was just a battery-operated toy. "Karen, what the hell did you get us into?" she snapped, her voice rising. "You said this would be quick. You said he was just some farmer with a rusty badge collection." I stepped closer, voice low and steady. "That rusty badge," I said, tapping the star on my chest, "has more authority than every fake paper you've waved in this neighborhood." By now, neighbors had come out with phones rolling. One whispered, "She really sent fake cops." Another muttered, "That's a felony, right?" I looked right into one of their cameras. "Impersonating an officer, conspiracy to commit theft, and attempted fraud," I said clearly, my tone official, measured. "All caught on record." Karen's face twisted. You can't arrest me. This is HOA business." I raised an eyebrow. "Lady, HOA business ends at the mailbox. Federal law doesn't." The shorter fake cop bolted for the SUV, but before he could touch the door, I already had my radio up. "Dispatch, this is Marshal Owens, requesting immediate local units to Oak Ridge Drive. 3 suspects, impersonating law enforcement, attempting to seize federal property." Footage secured. Karen froze. Her power, her voice, her lies, all of it died in that moment. The red and blue lights flashing in the distance weren't hers anymore. They were mine. Within minutes, real sirens sliced through the night, sharp, commanding, official. The kind that make even the guilty stop breathing. Karen's fake officers froze in place as the county sheriff's cruisers surrounded my driveway. Deputy Ruiz stepped out first, hand resting on his holster, eyes scanning the scene. "Marshal Owens?" he asked. I nodded, flipping my badge open. 2 impersonators, 1 accomplice. All caught on video. Karen stumbled forward, her voice shaking. "This is a misunderstanding. I was trying to enforce HOA policy. They were just helping me." Ruiz raised an eyebrow. "With fake badges and a toy light bar." He turned to the fake cops. "You boys wanna explain why you're dressed like my deputies?" One muttered, "She paid us, said it was just repossession work." Karen's head snapped toward him, eyes wide. "You idiots, you're not supposed to." But it was too late. Ruiz already had his radio up. "Dispatch, we've got 3 in custody for impersonation, conspiracy, and attempted grand theft. Send a tow for their SUV." The crowd of neighbors had doubled. Phones everywhere. Whispers rippled through them like fire through dry grass. "She's done for. Can't believe she hired fake cops. That man's a U.S. Marshal." Karen lunged toward me, voice trembling with fury. You think you've won. The HOA won't let this go. We'll sue. We'll. I cut her off, calm as ever. You just tried to steal government property, Karen. You won't be suing anyone from a holding cell. Ruiz gave me a knowing smirk. We'll make sure this goes to the right people, Marshal. As they loaded the impersonators and a furious, sobbing Karen into the patrol cars, I turned back to my Chevy, not a scratch on her. I gave the hood a pat and whispered, they picked the wrong man to mess with. The next morning, the local paper headline read, HOA president arrested after trying to steal Marshal's truck with fake police. And right beneath it, a photo of me, coffee in hand, smiling calmly on my porch as justice rolled away in handcuffs. Week later, I got a letter, not from the HOA, but from the state attorney's office. Karen's face was plastered right at the top of the report, charged with impersonating law enforcement, conspiracy, and harassment. But that wasn't even the best part. Turns out, her fake cops had a history. They'd done this before, shaking down homeowners, pretending to be law enforcement, taking cars, cash, even pets. Karen was the one pulling the strings behind it all, hiding behind HOA paperwork and fake authority. When I showed up to testify, she tried her same tricks, fake tears, fake apologies, fake smiles. I was misled, she said. I didn't know they weren't real officers. The prosecutor just slid a photo across the table, a selfie of her and the imposters, standing by my truck, laughing. Date stamped, time marked, busted. The courtroom gasped. Karen froze. Her lawyer whispered something, but she couldn't hear a word. She knew it was over. When the verdict hit, guilty on all counts, she didn't even look up. Just stared down at the floor like the ground might swallow her whole. As I stepped out of the courthouse, reporters swarmed. One shouted, Marshal Owens, how does it feel getting justice against your HOA? I smiled slightly. I don't do this for revenge, I said. But sometimes, people need to learn that the law isn't a game. The clip went viral overnight. Comments flooded in. Greater than, that's what happens when you mess with the wrong guy. HOA Karen met the Marshal. This should be a movie. And maybe it should. Because in the end, it wasn't just about my truck. It was about showing that power without respect means nothing. The HOA tried to replace her, tried to spin the story, but their reputation was gone. Half the neighborhood resigned from the board. The rest, they just waved when they saw me drive by. Karen, on the other hand, won't be seeing any HOA meetings for a long, long time. Because where she's headed, there's no parking spaces, no fake authority, and definitely no Bentleys.